Welcome back to Political Empire. This is Jeff Horseman with the Press Enterprise and PE.com. And in today's show, we're going to be talking about how across the board budget cuts at the federal level might be affecting March Air Reserve Base here in the Inland Empire. And then we're going to air just a snippet from an interview I recently did with Temecula's newest congressman, or at least he's the newest congressman for most of Temecula, Duncan Hunter. So first, trading flight hours at March Air Reserve Base will be cut 18%, and contractors could lose base-related business if across-the-board federal spending cuts, otherwise known as sequestration, go into effect March 1st. Now, this is coming from Representative Mark Takano's office. Takano, a newly elected Democrat from Riverside, outlined the consequences of the $1.2 billion worth of cuts in a news release. Lawmakers on both sides agreed to sequestration to provide an incentive to reach a budget deal, but now you're hearing a lot of people saying that those cuts actually might become reality and that they'll affect defense, that they'll affect social services, like I said, a whole bunch of things across the board. And some people think it's a good idea, but we'll see if whether that spurs action on a federal budget deal or not. Now, speaking of Congress, I recently had the chance to sit down with Representative Duncan Hunter. He's a Republican from Alpine. He is also an Iraq and Afghanistan veteran. He served in the Marine Corps, and he's the son of a longtime congressman. Now, Mr. Hunter now represents about 2/3 of Temecula thanks to redistricting. His district includes most of or a good chunk of San Diego County, and he redistricting shifted most of the city of Temecula to his district. So we had a long-ranging interview touching on a variety of topics, and here's just a little bit of what he had to say.
It has to be means tested. For instance, if you work for 40 years in a job like yours or like mine, you're gonna need different health care benefits, I would say, on the whole, when you get older, as somebody who worked construction for 45 years. Okay, it's just different. Their knees and backs, giving everything else being equal, those folks' knees and backs are going to be a lot worse off than ours are, because we spend time typing on the phone, writing, doing things that aren't manual labor. But I think we have to look at the health care for those types of folks and health care for folks that don't do manual labor and say, well, your needs are going to be different. Everything shouldn't be the same. And if you have the option, for instance, to get health care through your private company, but you choose instead to have Medicare, I just think we have to look at those things. Medicare is supposed to be a safety net for those people that can't afford health care or aren't able to get it when they hit retirement age. And we have to make sure that the people who really need it are getting it. And I don't know, we might have to look at the people that don't really need it. Now, the big problem with that is you have to determine who gets what, right? So that's going to be a big discussion. But in the big sense, that's some places where I would modernize. So I think you have to look too at taking the government out of it. When you talk about Medicare, it's the government creating a healthcare marketplace, because the government, the federal government, takes taxpayer dollars and directly inserts it into the healthcare marketplace for those folks that are receiving Medicare. So the government's literally creating the market in this case. They're giving the money basically to the people that are on Medicare. Then they also prescribe the services, and they tell the Medicare providers, here's what we, the government, are going to give you to provide those services to the people that are on Medicare. If you pull the government out of this a little bit, and let's just make this really simple, and this is just an idea, I'm not saying that we should do this. Let's just say you give every Medicare beneficiary, and I think we figured out yesterday there was about 48 million retirees at this point, right? People 65 and over in the country. That's going to jump as baby boomers retire. But let's just say 48 million. I could be off by a few million. Okay. 2011 numbers. So 48 million. Let's say that you give each one of those people $500 a month. Okay. You've now created a marketplace, and let's say that you pull all the Medicare rules out of it, and the government just says, here's $500 in your health savings account. This is your Medicare. Okay. The way that the free market works is you're going to have companies look at this 48 million times $500 a month. That's a lot of money. I'm not sure what that comes out to monthly, but it's a lot of money. You're going to have private companies vying to provide the services for those people for $500 a month. And I guarantee you they will do it more efficiently and effectively, because the people that are getting that $500 a month in their health savings accounts are going to be able to pick and choose where they want to go, what services they want, etc. So I think there's other ways to do this that use the great market system that we have while still having regulatory controls on it, so that there's no abuse and there's no fraud, and people aren't being taken advantage of.
Again, that's just a snippet of a conversation I had with him in our Mr. Hunter in our Temecula bureau, and you can actually, we're supposed to have a story go online and in print about it, and the online version should have a more expansive video so you can see his views on various topics, both local and at the national level. So once again, I'm Jeff Horseman for the Press Enterprise and PE.com. This is Political Empire, and thanks for watching.